Coach, take it away.
Well, before we begin, I'd like to welcome Coach Brooks and his family, our new women's basketball coach. Looking forward to getting to know them and developing a relationship. It's hopefully nice to not be the new guy on the block now, officially. But we had a good workout on Saturday. We put the shoulder pads on. I thought the kids attacked it with a tremendous amount of intensity. We're still figuring out where to go and what to do, but it's always good when you've got a group that you don't really know real well and you put them out there the first day in pads and they go get after it without you having to do much egging them on. You know, on the critical side, I didn't think we maintained that intensity throughout practice. I think we still have some work to do in terms of maintaining that level. I think we've got to stay focused throughout the entire practice. But I thought we were off to a good start. It was a good first step. Today we'll put the full pads on. Won't change too much the format of practice. We'll still do some of the same stuff. It alters things just a little bit, but not a whole lot. So we won't tackle to the ground or do anything like that today. But have a good physical workout and see if we can take another step forward.
Going full pads, does that change the tenor of practice? Do you see anything different out of guys than you would?
I don't know. You know, today's day and age with shells and some of the drill work you can get, you know, the kids get pretty anxious for that workout, I think, and putting full pads on is another step, and I think, you know, hopefully the guys will ratchet up the intensity as well, but a little bit of it's getting comfortable running around in those pants that they haven't had on since the last ball game, but we'll see. Like I said, the format won't change too much.
Now, Coach, I know it's kind of early in the process, but is there a timetable you have to settling in on a starting quarterback?
No, I don't see any reason to set a timetable for that. We'll just kind of see how it goes and manipulate the reps as we go through practice, and if it goes into the summer and into the first game, that's fine. We'll just see how it goes, and we're not going to force it. We want those guys to have urgency and competitiveness and trying to earn the job, and we'll continue to evaluate them, and whenever the time is that we feel like there is a starter, then we'll name one, but I'm not setting a timetable.
From a media perspective, you seem pretty restrictive with the quarterbacks. Is that something you've done in previous stops, or is that unique to this competition that you're having here?
Well, I just think it's a little different when you've got a competition going on. I don't think there's any reason to air out the entire competition for everybody to see. Those kids are working hard, competing for something that they really want. So I don't see any need to draw any more scrutiny on it than there already is, and they understand that part of it. So, you know, as we move forward further in our time here and become more settled, then we'll evaluate all those things. But for right now, I don't see the use in it right now.
I know it's only a couple practices. Do you like what you've seen in that competition so far?
Well, some of it. There's been some good and some bad from everybody, you know, from everybody involved. But, you know, it's just so new for everyone, not just the quarterbacks. You know, there's not just a quarterback competition going on. There's guys competing for playing time at wide receiver and offensive line and tight end and on the defensive side of the ball. So, you know, there's been plenty of good things, plenty of highlights, and plenty of things for us to learn from. So. But as we're still installing things, and you know, I don't think the focus for us right now is on identifying anyone other than getting things taught and trying to evaluate people and figure out what they can and can't do.
How are the freshman wide receivers coming along?
Oh, they're doing well. They've shown some good competitiveness. You know, it's a new world for them, obviously, not just the fact that they're playing college football, but you know, the coverages they're seeing and the techniques that they're going against and the speed of the game, all that sort of stuff is an adjustment for them. But they're all three intelligent kids that are working diligently to try and help this football team. So I like the way they're going. We have a lot of work to do there, along with a lot of other places.
There's obviously a tempo you'd like to play at. it's tough to do with 2 wide receivers. Is there a minimum number of receivers that you can get by with, or a target that you're trying to get to?
Well, I think when you've got 2, you're looking for 3. And when you get 3, you're looking for 4, trying to build it up that way. You know, I mean, you can't walk in and say we want to play 8 guys right off the bat when there's only been really 2 guys with experience. So we'll continue to try and build that depth and give those kids opportunities to identify themselves as worthy of earning playing time. We won't just play guys just to play them because we want to play a certain way. You know, you got to earn your way onto the field. It's not good enough just to play. You got to play well. So I don't have a target number, but I know that we need more.
How's your offense been adjusting to this up-tempo offense? I mean, it looks like you're really speeding them up last week when we were here. How are they adjusting to that?
I think they're adjusting to it fine. I think, you know, football is football. The terminology is different, obviously. There's a little bit of a learning curve with that. And then to try and operate at a little bit quicker pace only enhances the learning curve. As you can imagine, like anything else, it's one thing to sit in a quiet room and take a test. It's another thing to be out there with your heart beating and sweat pouring down your face and try and answer those same questions. So there's a little bit of an enhanced learning curve with the tempo that we're trying to go at. That's why we've tried to move a little bit slower so those guys can take it all in. But I think they're embracing it. I like that part of it. I think they want to try and create that identity. How much of it and how far we go down the road of it, we'll see. You know, ultimately, I've said this from day one. We're not gonna operate at a tempo to sacrifice the other side of the ball just to say we're doing that. We're going to try and find the best way for us to operate on both sides of the ball and in special teams and try and win the ball game. So we'll evaluate it and see as we move forward.
So Ken, you feel awfully old as a defensive end with all the other young guys that you have there?
Very, very old now. It's kind of funny how time flies, and you know, I still feel like I'm the new guy around here, but I'm the oldest guy, got most playing reps and all. So it's kind of funny seeing how the tables have turned and stuff. So yeah, I got a lot of young guys, a lot of potential behind me, and I'm looking forward to see what they can do during the spring.
Do you have to take on a different role now that Luther and Daddy and Corey are gone? Do you have to be more vocal? Is there something you do differently?
Yeah, I'll be a little more vocal, but I mean, the main thing I've been doing is I've been teaching up a lot more than I've done in the past. So, you know, just teaching up technique and how to play like certain plays and stuff and what to expect out of certain formations and just like relaying that information to the younger guys.
Trevon Hill had a similar situation as you, had a torn ACL as a senior in high school. Is there anything you can share from your own personal perspective for him?
Well, I mean, I told him, I mean, it takes a while. I mean, you get over the physical aspect of it, and then you got to get over the mental aspect of it. You know, there's guys diving at your legs and stuff, so you have to, sometimes you baby your leg and stuff. So, I mean, it might take shorter, it might take longer for some people to recover from it. It might take shorter, just depending on how the mentality is. So I told him, I mean, don't rush anything and just do whatever you feel comfortable. I mean, I remember they issued me a knee brace that fall when I came in, and then when I noticed, I was kind of thinking about my knee because my knee was in the brace, and just to take it off in the spring, I was flying around and not even thinking about it. So. I mean, I've given them tips and pointers every once in a while. It's about it.
What's a quick scouting report of those freshman defensive ends?
They're very. I mean, I think they're very explosive, all of them, really, and they bring a lot to the table. I mean, they all. I mean, they're all really good, great pass rushers and do really well. Work their hands really well. So I mean, they're a little bit more developed than I'm usually accustomed to seeing in the pass rush aspect of it. So, but they need to develop a little bit more in their run game to be efficient in.
Can you talk a little about tempo and practice? How's it been going overall as a whole?
It's I mean, this kind of shocked us last Saturday. They had 4 team periods back to back, so it was all up tempo and probably like 8 seconds between each play. So you're constantly running, and you do 3 or 4 plays and you run off, and the next group goes in, and so your break's probably like 20 to 30 seconds long, and then you have to run back on the field and do those plays again. So It's kind of conditioning at the same time as practicing. So I'm very interested. I mean, I'm very excited to see how we turn out. I mean, going through that was pretty tough. So I mean, during the game, it's probably gonna be really relatively easy. So I'm excited to see how well conditioned we get during our practice and how up tempo the pace is of practice. So only good things can come from it.
Questions?
So you are a safety now?
Yes, sir.
What has that transition been like?
It hasn't been difficult. Growing up, I played a lot of safety growing up, a lot of linebacker growing up, so I've always had a natural feel to be around the ball and be involved in the run game a lot. So just moving here was actually more exciting than anything because being the last line of defense, it's a certain mindset you got to have, and I adapted to that. And I just like being that guy in the back who, if it's a run team, he's involved in the run game, pass team, he's involved in the pass game. So I think you get the best of both worlds, and it's pretty exciting.
That sounds like you're still doing some nickel too? So
Yeah,
is that kind of enjoy wearing both hats?
I do like wearing both hats with the plans to, after Chuck's gone, to take over one job. But until then, I think versatility at the nickel spot for what they're asking for this year, I bring a lot of things to it. So I feel like that's the, until Chuck departs, I think that's the best thing for the team.
Is playing safety, does that actually translate better to the nickel spot than actually playing on the outside as a cornerback?
I think it does because they ask more of you like they do at a safety position. So, yeah, like I said, it's pretty comfortable. It's pretty fun. Nickel or safety, I don't care which one it is as long as I can play. I know I can excel in either or. So it's just like I said, whichever one. I like nickel. I like safety. So.
What's his transition been like going from Coach Gray to to Galen Scott this year?
You know, I've kept some of Coach Gray was a great coach, so I've kept a lot of the things that he, you know, instilled in us from when we got here last January. So just being around him for a year, playing a season under him, I learned a lot. So with a new coach coming in, you know, everybody's open to new ways they do things, but taking views from both coaches and bringing them together. I made a lot of plays so far by doing such, and you know, I just keep the little things that Coach Gray taught me about, simple stuff like leverage and you know, position on the back, and just going out there and actually doing it. I feel more mature out there. I'm not just a guy out there playing. I'm a guy out there who's thinking now and making plays before the ball snapped. And Coach Scott is a great guy too. I like his intensity, so it's pretty fun to play with him. And it's a new face, so it gives you an opportunity to prove your skill set again. So that's pretty cool.
Who can get more intense, Torian or Galen?
It depends. They're two different guys. You know, we're still learning Coach Scott, but as of what we've seen from him right now, we like the guy. We wouldn't want to play for, if it isn't T. Gray, we wouldn't want to play for a guy just like Coach Scott. He's an intense guy. He knows what he's talking about. He's been at the top before. So everything he teaches is credible. So it's just fun to be out there playing. I don't know who's really intense. They're two different guys, two different views, two different personalities, but playing for both of them is fun.
You came in early last year, and I would have to imagine your first spring, your mind was kind of racing through stuff. How much better prepared do you feel like you are this year than you were at this time last year?
Last spring practices always make me excited. For a simple fact, it's not every day, so every other day you get to come out and give it your all. You get to learn a lot in the spring. So that's what's really fun. Last spring, I would mimic guys like Chuck, Riley with the things they would do because I didn't play a lot of corner in high school. So coming here, I would just mimic what they would do every other day. And it actually made me a better player. So now I can imagine that I'm taking the things that I've learned in the spring last year and the things that I've learned in the season, the things that I've learned with two different coaches, and I'm just putting it all together, and it's working out fine. Making a lot of plays, having a lot of fun.
How are the quarterbacks looking from a defensive standpoint?
Quarterbacks are good, but we just gotta, you know, it's two sides of the ball. Everybody, with a new team, everybody's got to focus on their jobs. So, you know, I haven't really been able to see a lot of the quarterbacks except for when we do team drills and one-on-ones, and quarterbacks looking pretty good. It's a good quarterback competition. I feel like they're all pushing each other, so it's all good.
What's the
For Bucky.
Bucky, we never really talked to you after you made the decision to come back. What was sort of the overriding factor in you coming back for another year?
It was just that I sat down. I mean, it was a tough decision, real tough. I mean, some days I'd wake up, I'd be going, saying I'm about to leave, and then next day I wake up saying I'm staying in school. So then I just sat down with my family and weighed out pros and cons and saw it was best for me to come back to school. I mean, I like Coach Fuente. I feel like he's going to benefit me a lot in my future. And I feel like I can still help out this team.
It seemed like the way he's talked about, he's sort of been hands-off in that whole process. Did he kind of let you come to that decision himself?
Yeah, he was. We talked a little, but like you said, he was more hands-off, and he was just telling me like he feels that like he wanted to coach me, and then that I could still get better at some things. I feel like he can help me. I mean, I'm just looking forward to playing for him.
It seems like there maybe isn't the traditional tight end role that much in the offense that they're trying to run. How do you envision your role this year? Is it going to be a thing where you move around all over the field again like last year?
That's on coach. I don't know right now. It's still early in the spring, but that's on coach. So
How are you adjusting to this offense? Do you like this up-tempo feel? I know it's a lot of conditioning for you guys, but are you bought in?
Yeah, I bought in, but like you said, the tempo is very fast, and just getting adjusted to that, because we never did that since I've been here. I mean, it's a process too, but I mean, I'm getting adjusted to it, and the best thing is, like, the tempo it's hard on us right now, but it's going to be hard on other teams during the season. So.
You made the move from quarterback to tight end, and now Durkin's doing the same thing. How does he look at the position so far?
Dirk is very athletic. He's not afraid to hit anybody. He's a football player. Catches the ball good. He's very quick, and I mean I think it's gonna be a smooth transition for him.
Did you give him any advice about maybe things that were tough for you when you first made that move?
Not really. I mean, it's still early in his process. I mean, I try to give a little insight, but I mean, as things go on, I am going to talk to him more about my little insight that I got. Try to be like how Malik was with me, but I mean, I'm not saying Malik was a great mentor for me, but.
Is there a particular tight end, say, in the NFL that you pattern your game after, or someone that you pretty much look up to?
Tight end wise, Jimmy Graham, but just like overall wise, just retired Calvin Johnson. Like, that was one of my favorite players, and like try to model my game after him. Other tight ends like got Charles Clay, Gronkowski, of course. I mean, he's a monster, and I don't know. I just try to make it all like in my game, put my own little twist on it.
What's kind of your biggest spring goal this year?
This spring, I would say the biggest goal is probably being a vocal leader out there. Kind of tried to do it this fall, but trying to take it to a whole nother level this spring, and with just getting back to what we're used to, being a great defense and a great team. So leading by example is not enough. Stepping up vocally.
What was the biggest lesson you take from your first year as a full-time starter?
Probably being in the taking advantage of the training room. When you play that many games, you have to be aware of how your body's feeling and take care of your body off the field as much as you can. Get your rest and stuff like that. So that's what I would take away from that. Being a full year starter, it kind of adds up to you, all those hits and practices and plays that you play on Saturday.
with some of the older guys from the defense gone and moved on, have any of the other younger guys maybe helped you out with the leadership role on the defensive side?
Yes. Chuck Clark. I mean, he was already one of the leaders, but definitely everyone on the defense really is trying to come along as being their own leader. Ken, we got Woody and Nigel. I mean, I feel like we're pretty good all around as leadership wise.
So how do you like tight end?
Honestly, I love it. I mean, the transition, it took a little while, but now that I'm in the full mix of things, really starting to like it. Really like hitting, so really enjoy it.
You seem like a guy who's always like hitting. You look at your high school film, and you basically just launch yourself into guys as a quarterback. Does this seem like a natural switch for you?
Yeah, I mean, it took a little time. I mean, especially for like my body to get used to it. Especially being here for a year and a half, being protected by that gold jersey. It's finally nice to get in a white jersey and, like I said, to start knocking heads.
When did you start making that transition into tight end?
About midway through the season last year. Just saw that I probably wasn't going to get on the field as a quarterback, so I thought, switch position, try tight end, and do what I can to contribute. And happy where I'm at right now.
Have you had to do anything different with your body, get bigger or slim down, or?
I got to put on a little bit more weight. I was a little light, so that's one of the main things they wanted me to focus on was, lifting, tacking on a little bit more weight, getting a little bit stronger because, at the tight end position, you're dealing with 260-pound DNs and, stuff like that. So, you want to be a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger.
Is there a part that's been natural for you so far, and is there a part that's been tough?
Just making contact. I mean, it's been natural. Been doing it, kind of all my life. But blocking is where I think I need to improve, and just pay attention to the coaching I'm getting, and just really practice on that in my free time.
How much did you have to work on your hands? I mean, always as a quarterback, you're throwing the ball rather than catching it.
Actually, in high school, my pregame warm-up was running routes. So I always loved running routes. Played receiver a little bit in high school, and so once I got here, I mean it's a little bit different, and there's a lot better talent. But I've always enjoyed catching the ball.
Chris, just talk about the tempo of practice. From your perspective, how's it been?
Fast pace. Coaches want us to get after it, want us to move around quick. There's going to be mistakes, but you just got to put those to the side and just think about the next rep because everything's coming so fast. It's a new offense, so just kind of got to be on your feet and just always be thinking, because we're trying to push tempo.
How is the new installation of the offense going so far, even though it's kind of early?
I mean, it's early. We're just putting in base stuff right now, but I love it. Everybody else loves it. We really like the fact that we're trying to push tempo the way we are. It's going to do nothing but wear down our opponents and put us in better shape.
Bucky's a guy who made that quarterback to tight end transition. Does he give you any advice? Do you ask any advice from him?
Oh, all the time. Buck's a great player, great person. Gets out on the field and attacks it. Bucky's helped me with a lot of my route running, blocking and stuff like that, and then just telling me just ways to approach the game and everything from the tight end perspective, and he's been a real help past year.
Do you have to caution yourself because you'd be like, well, just be 6'7" and run 4.4 and you'll be fine doing some of this stuff?
No, I mean, like I said, he's been helping out a lot, and he's a great player. He's doing all the right things, and he's being a leader on the team this year, and I'm really looking forward to see what he does this year, what this team does, and like I said, I'm really excited for it.